Hello, this is Will and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is why you are not making the type of money that you deserve to make. Now, this is has a lot of different components to it. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm going to cover some things I've already covered, and then I'm going to go through some things that you guys haven't heard of yet because it's going to be in the interviewing section of that is coming up within the next couple of months. So number one, you're not making the type of money that you deserve to make for a couple of different reasons. And one reason definitely may be that you are not applying to the positions that you are actually qualified to apply for. There's been several studies that say men of color and all women will only apply to jobs for the most part if they meet all the basic and preferred criteria. If you meet all of the basic criteria for a position, you should apply. Preferred is the icing on the cake. Yes, it is, but if you meet all the basic qualifications, you should apply. You have to look at yourself as somebody who is capable of doing these positions, even though you might not have all of the preferred qualifications, you can grow into those. Another reason is your resume. If you have a resume and you can do everything that's in that job description under basic, preferred, or some from each, copy and paste those lines, not the entire job description. If you copy and paste the entire job description, when we interview, we're going to kind of hold your feet to the fire and say, oh, you said you can do this. Explain this. Tell me about a time. Only do the ones that you can definitely speak to. Make sure your spacing is correct. Make sure your margins are correct. Make sure you spell check your resume because that could be holding you back also. Using the keywords that are in job descriptions will make sure that you don't go to the does not qualify pile and we will never see you anyway. Another key aspect is the interviewing portion, which we're going to get to a couple months later, but I'm going to give you a couple of keys right now. One of the main questions that we're going to ask, if we're interested, this question is only going to be asked if we're interested. So what were you looking to make? Another variation. So what are you looking to make in your next job going forward? What are you looking to make? What is your salary range? Any of these variations we're going to ask. Your response, unequivocally, every time, needs to be the following. Thank you so much for asking me that question. What is the salary range for a person with my skill set? Something along those lines, make it yours, but do not answer that question with your own. Because what happens, for instance, let's say you really, really, really want the job. The job ranges between 70 and 80. This job gives you the flexibility, work-life balance, it's your passion. You tell them you want 120. They're not even going to look at you. Because we're not going to try to talk you down 40,000, even though we might be able to get you up. We're not going to try to talk you down 40,000. But this is your dream job. This is something you might still do for 80 to 90,000, but because you went so high before, we're not even going to look at you. And this is the scarier scenario. The scarier scenario is you say I want 60. The base is 75. So let's say the job pays 75 to 90. You say I want 60. Unfortunately, companies might bring you in right at 70. They might bring you in at 68 to make you feel like you're getting more than what you asked for. But your counterparts, who might not be as good as you, are making 15 grand more than you, 10 to 15 grand more than you. That's the scarier scenario. So you always put it back on them, put it in your own words, never come up with a number. Don't come up with a range, put it back on them. And if they will not give you the number, say, I want fair market value. If you put it back on them and say, I want fair market value, then the hiring manager or whoever's going to make the hiring practices are going to say, what did he ask for? Fair market value. Now you have some leverage to go back and forth. If the company really wants you, that question will get answered. So again, please remember these tips, especially the last one. Do not answer with a number. Turn it back on them. What is the salary range for this position? What is the salary range for this position with somebody with my skill set? Things of that nature. Never give a number. So in conclusion, please apply to jobs that your skill set matches. Please apply to jobs. If you're an assistant manager and you've been an assistant manager for a couple years, you should definitely apply for a management position. Just because you haven't done it doesn't mean you can't, but you definitely have a skill set. Apply for jobs that you meet all the basic requirements. Don't only apply for jobs that you meet all of the basic and preferred. If you meet all of the basics, apply. Make sure your resume is up to date. Make sure you use the keywords in the job description. Also, make sure that your spacing and your margins are correct. And when it comes to the question how much that you would like to make and you're going forward in your next career, however they word it, put it back on them. What is the salary range for a position? What is the salary range for this position? Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Please hit that like button. Thank you for your support. If you have any questions, please ask them below. If you would like to reach out to me for any of this content or content that you've seen before, or just questions that I haven't quite covered but you're still interested in, please go to the link in my bio.